Welcome to the Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold, and today we'll finish up the excuse me. We'll finish up the mill stand and get things rearranged so they'll work, and which just leave me a cleaning up job, which we won't make any video of. I've got a big mess to clean up, and then next week we'll move on to something new and different. I kind of got a pretty good idea of what it is, so but I'm not going to tell you right now because I could change my mind. You never know. Anyway, before we get into the video here, I was just thinking about how bad addiction has crept into our YouTube ranks here. I'm not kidding you now, dearly beloved. It's there. We got Mr. James Kilroy. He's addicted to tap and dice sets. Tom Lipton, he's addicted to hammers, and I think he's starting to get a little vice addiction. We got our outside screwball buddy there, Chuck Bomarito. He's addicted to lathes. And talking of lathe addictions, Mr. Pete, who's a senior citizen, senior statesman, rather, I should say, of all these channels, he's addicted to lathes also. So you see, and then we got Blue Hands fella. He's addicted to Datsun trucks. So it's a serious problem. I can see that right now. And then down in Australia, we got Bundy Bear there. He's addicted to John Deere tractors. Now, I can kind of sympathize with that. That's probably not an addiction. That's probably just reasonable. I guess we better get on to the mill stand before I get in any more trouble. Needed bolts to bolt it to the stand, so I went down to Redneck Supply. They got 4 bolts, 4 nuts, 4 lock washers, 8 flat washers, and that little bit come to $22. And you know all of it's imported. They probably got $5 invested in a whole bin full of the stuff. Oh well. Us poor rednecks never get a break. Well, I rigged it there and I made a little preliminary lift, and I didn't like the way that it looked, so I'm going to go back and re-rig the thing again, and then we'll get down to making the move. I almost forgot to include you guys in on this thing. Light fixture was in the way. Alright, turn it around here for the other view of the proceedings. And I'm going to move this way. All right, looks like you got out of the view again. Okay, so got to put that stand right under it. Or at least as under it as I can. This is going to be the ticklish spot right here for sure. I think what I'm going to have to do is to set it on the floor and get another grip. That's not going like that. That's what we'll do. We'll set her on the floor and maybe pick it up from the back. We'll see. The legs on the crane are almost exactly the same height as the legs on my stand there, so I can't go under it or over it. I'm going to have to work on this a few minutes, so I'm going to turn off the camera and spend a couple of minutes thinking, or maybe longer. Okay, so I've jacked it up higher, and once I get the mill set on it, what I'll have to do is to just ease it down and jack up one side and move something maybe a ½ inch smaller under it, jack up the other side, put something a ½ inch smaller, and just bring it down a ½ inch at a time, you know. Now I should be able to get the wheels even closer in on the back side there. Okay, one wheel's going to have to come off the stand, so I'll stop you guys till I get one wheel off the stand. This shop crane's got what I consider a major flaw, and that's the legs fork out like that. So the closer you get into something, the tighter it gets and the less close you can get to it. So on the other wheel, the leg on the back there, it already run into the darn wheel on the stand, and I wasn't going to be able to get any closer, but I think I can set it right on top of it now. Okay, I've got bolts in it. Well, basically a 1/4 thickness at a time, I brought her down. And now it's sitting dead flat on the floor on the wheels. See if I can move it. I haven't tried that yet. Look at that, huh? It moves. It's alive. I haven't got the bolts in the front yet because I can't get them to. May have to take the DRO thing off of there. I may have to do that to get the front bolts in, but I'm going to try an all thread first just to see if I can do that. And I think that I may have set it on there backwards. See there on the back, there's a little bit hanging off when those bolts line up. Now the bolts are further in on the back than they are on the front. Let me go turn it around and let you have a shot at the front. Where'd the camera move? All right,
So I guess you can see right there at the front. That was an inch back from the end. So I don't know that I'm ever going to get the ambition to pick this sucker up and turn it around, because it looks to me like it's on there good enough, and that's holding and it's sitting there. And unless I have any problems, I'm not going to turn it around, because that's just too darn much work. If I had two of these stands, I could do it. I mean, these what do you call Harbor Freight hoists? I could probably pick it up easy enough and turn it around. But I really don't know if it's worth doing. Now I got to cut a little bit of off thread and see if I can bolt down the front of it. So I'll be back later. Okay, there you are. I got bolts in the front and I got bolts in the back. And other than shimming that one wheel that's not perfect, well, I'm just getting closer to finishing things up. My stand didn't pop, nor crack, nor squeak, nor break anywhere, so I guess my welding's good enough. I'm going to have to get busy now and clean up all this crud that's scattered all over the place in here. And I've made a big mess, so you know, it's part of the job, so I won't bore you with watching me pick all this stuff up. We'll be back in a little bit when I try to get it into position or something. I've still got to run the wire, but I can say it, at least I may be older than dirt, but I can still take care of myself. There you go. You see that metal block right there? That thing's 2 inches thick. I bought a piece of steel back in the 70s that was a little over 36 inches long and around 28 inches wide. It was all my pickup truck could carry home. And I cut that down into pieces that were the right size to go ahead and trim up looking good with a bandsaw. There's no milling done on that thing there. The only true side is the one that's facing up like that. But that was, I cut that with my Sears and Roebuck oxyacetylene torch. Now I wonder just how big of a plasma cutter would you have to cut that piece of metal, and how expensive would that sucker be? Amongst the jobs involved in moving is to get rid of that hole there. That was so I could take the slack out of the Y-axis, reach my hand up under the mill and get to it. I didn't like having to cut the hole there, but I couldn't adjust it if I couldn't get to it, so there you are. So I get that little piece of stainless metal that I'll cut and nail over the hole. And then the next little job is the outlet up there. Let's see if I can see it here. Right there. That little fella. It's got my probes in it. That guy has got to be moved out into the middle of the room, and I've got this amount of assistance here, this flute, to help me find which breaker it is, although I'm pretty sure I can find it, but it helps, you know. I like to be really certain before I start touching anything that bites. We'll come right back in just a second. Okay, I think I know which breaker it is. We'll just check it out here. And that looks like the right breaker. So we'll get that in just a minute. But before I even start on that, there's this little guy right here that's got to be done. I'll just mark him at a comfortable distance around the sides of it. I don't want a really huge plate over it, just enough to clean it up, and I'll get my tin snips and cut that out. And you've seen people cut with tin snips, so we're going to do that off camera. We'll just cut her out. I like things to be fastened down real well when I'm drilling on them, because too many times I've seen a drill bit snag and turn the thing into a helicopter. Being one of those guys that doesn't like to mash his fingers, I tend to take a pair of pliers. I'll start the nail with that pair of pliers. Of course, it's not always perfect, but perfect or not, I don't smash my fingers. Alright, so that's good enough. I know there's a lot of the guys on the better channels that would have ripped that top off and ripped out that board and put a whole new one in. Probably took them a week, but a lot of times good enough is all you need. And I'm sure you know by now that I'm a guy that likes to stop when it's good enough. The boss lady found me some drawer handles, pulls, whatever you want to call them, that I had stashed away for some reason, and so that took care of that problem. And I have got electricity on everything, and I've moved all manner of things around, and some of it may not be in the perfect best place just yet, but like that saw cart, that doesn't necessarily have to be right there, but I'm going to have a lot more room here shortly. The boss lady has determined that I'm going to build a storage shed, so I ordered one. And some of the stuff down on the end there, some of that stuff will go in that storage shed. So I guess before long one of the next projects will be that stupid storage shed. So appreciate you watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the like or the dislike button, one of them, preferably the like button, and subscribe please, and leave a comment. I like comments. Bye.